We're joined now by the #2 Democrat in the House Minority Whip, Katherine of Massachusetts. Thank you so much for your time tonight. The president, of course, is in Qatar today. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said today in regard to that $400 million luxury jet gift that it's not in his lane to weigh in. Democrats across the board have blasted the gift. What would be a lane that Congress could exercise with regard to the plane?
Well, one would think that the Constitution, which forbids gifts from foreign countries to the president, would definitely be in the Speaker of the House's lane. So the fact that he is trying to brush this aside, brush aside the Constitution, tells you everything you need to know about where we are with the GOP. It is all about Donald Trump. While they are turning and saying we shouldn't really be involved and accepting what they're calling a palace in the sky, a $400 million plane, on the exact same day that they are taking away health care from almost 14 million Americans, devastating our food assistance programs, whether that's Meals on Wheels or school lunches, the SNAP program. These are historical cuts, all to pay for tax cuts for the very wealthiest Americans. So the hypocrisy is real and it's very alive here in the House.
A few Republicans have publicly expressed concerns about the national security implications. I'm curious if behind the scenes, any of your colleagues across the aisle have been a bit more candid.
Yeah, I think they're all flabbergasted by this. But I can tell you what, I am very frustrated with the private conversations when people across the aisle are very critical of this president, whether it is his damaging tariffs that he put in place, whether it is these cuts to health care, to veterans benefits, public schools, child care, food programs, or whether it's accepting this plane. But they're in private, they're critical, but what matters is what happens when they come to the floor to vote. They turn to him. That is where their loyalty lies.
What type of message do you think that it'll send to other foreign countries about how to deal with the Trump administration?
I think Donald Trump is already sending a clear message. The White House has a big for sale sign on the lawn. Whether it is through his meme coin, whether it's through accepting, lavish doesn't really seem to even cover a $400 million plane that it certainly at one point he was thinking of keeping after his presidency for his private use. It is very clear that this president sold his presidency to the American people, saying he would fight for them. He has betrayed them.
Republicans are moving forward with a massive budget bill. Its current iteration would cut hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid, something the president has vowed repeatedly not to cut, even saying he would veto a bill if it includes cuts to Medicaid. Do you think the Republicans in those swing state districts may ultimately get cold feet on voting for this?
Well, we haven't seen it yet because we've had 2 votes in the House on these cuts. They have voted twice to move forward a process with $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid. So, like I said before, it is time that they take their rhetoric when they go home and say, I'm moderate, I'm fighting for you, and bring it to where it matters, which is putting the votes on the floor that represent what people at home sent us here to do.
And just lastly, want to touch on before we let you go, just today, Speaker Johnson said that he is in favor of a ban on members of Congress trading stocks, as he doesn't think there should be, quote, any appearance of impropriety. Is this something that you'll whip up votes for in your party in support of, or is this a possible bipartisan win?
I hope it will be a bipartisan win. I think that the Democratic caucus has put forward many pieces of legislation saying, we understand that this is a public perception, and we want people to have confidence in their government, confidence in their representatives, that they are working for them and them only.
Minority Whip Katherine, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, Linsey.